help me welcome Mr. Kwame Agyeman-Budu, Managing Director of ECG, my guest on the Wiley the Board series. Good to have you on the show, sir. Welcome to YFM.
Good morning.
I'd be glad if I can have you get closer to the microphone. It's being properly sanitized. Welcome. You're looking good in your blue outfit, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Blue is a part of the ECG colors, right?
Yes.
Are you representing this morning? Very well. I want to find out one thing from you before we start talking. Do you get your friends calling you at odd hours about their power?
Yes.
All the time?
Yes. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
They feel you are the one, doctoring everything. Like you have the buttons. But help us understand how it works. Are there like buttons you guys switch? Because sometimes I feel like somebody just mistakenly touch the switch and then my lights goes off.
No, not necessarily. Sometimes the fuse will blow.
Okay.
Obstacle will break the lines and there'll be a shortage and the lights will go off. So
all right.
It's not intentional.
All right. I like that. Guys, so in case you just tune in, we have Mr. Kwame Agyeman-Budu in the building, ECG Managing Director. He's here to share his life story with us. And so thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend time with us this morning, Wiley the Board series. I mean, it's a show that for a while now has brought a lot of personalities on here to basically inspire the youth, young people as such. We're told you have a beautiful story to share. I mean, people know you, Mr. Agyeman-Budu, the MD of Electricity Ghana, but people rarely know where you started from. I was told along the line that you grew up in Kumasi. Let's start off with that. How was growing up in Kumasi like for you?
Growing up in Kumasi was not easy, as I would say. I started school, as you said, at the Kumasi as a division near the stadium. Now it's a bonded part of a stadium now, and at that time, we used to do the shifting system, whereby some people go in the morning, that kind of thing. And I have a decent and fairly well-to-do family, not too big family, but it was a nice family. My father was a very strict person, and I was very entrepreneurship kind of individual. So going to school in the morning, you come home, you come back to the store. We used to have a store at the Asaf Market, G23.
Oh, you remember the number?
Oh yes, yes, I'll never forget that. And my mother and my stepmom, my father used to have married two wives at a time. They all live in the same place. Have the same access to the store. So from school in the morning, we come to the store and sell ice water at that time. Yes, not that we don't have something to eat. My father wanted to instill some discipline and entrepreneur values in us. So that's what we were doing. And through that, it instills some power and some kind of decency in us, and we love each other because we are living among ourselves. The two rival wives, they live in the same place, go to store together, we cook together, we share.
One family.
Wow. And it was really nice.
Wow. What were your academic interests back then? What kind of subjects were you inclined in?
At that time, at the secondary school level, was arts.
Okay.
As I wasn't the science student at all.
Okay.
It was a kind of difficult when I tried to change. Because initially, my father wanted me to do some marketing because he was a inspector at the CMB, the then Ghana Cocoa Marketing Board. And, so he has some influence that Kwame wouldn't do marketing, so I can switch you to that area. But I said, no, that's not my area at that time. I did commerce in a way, economics, all that. But the funny thing is, after secondary school, I taught as a people teacher.
Wow.
And I know everyone knew a people teacher, whereby you finish science school, then you
are sent somewhere. Which area were you posted to?
I went to Abono. Near the
train. Yeah, Lake Busonchi area. Yeah, wow. That was far.
Yeah.
From Asafu to Abono.
Yes.
Wow.
So at that time, I developed some kind of love for teaching. So after science school, I decided to pursue training college.
the interest to teach came after you were posted there or way before? You actually sought for that?
When I was posted there, after teaching for a couple of months, the love the children showed to me, the environment, the parents, it was really nice. So I said, oh, damn, as a teacher, you gain more respect. I was given the best house in that town to live in. So I had to say, there, how could I get this kind of
treatment? So you wanted more.
Oliver Twist.
And then you went to training college.
Exactly.
How were your days there like?
Training college, it was nice. Those days, you get your allowances, everything is smoothly. And thank God I was the entertainment prefect at that time, entertainment secretary at that time. So life was easy over there. We enjoy ourselves much.
What kind of entertainment were you guys having back then in training college?
As you call it, MOSWO.
Regular jams, right?
Yeah,
so you were the NTP coordinating, or you got on the field and did some MCing as well?
No, I was the entertainment prefect. I organized all the entertainment gurus to come to school to play for us, and we invite St. Louis, all the girls come over, and our girls be competing with them, all kind of.
Wow! And so while you did this, what was your? I mean, you mentioned that teaching came in along the line, and you grew so much love for them. But prior to that, what career path did you wish to, chart? Like growing up, what did you want to become?
Like I said, I developed interest for teaching. So when I finished Wesley College, I taught for I think a year or two at Evidrasi Secondary School as the sports master, and also health science and Bible knowledge teacher at the Evidrasi Secondary School. So that was between 84 to 86. Because I graduated from Wesley College at 84. So I did my national service at the Wesley Secondary School. So from that point, that's where my sister invited me to UK.
All right.
So all this while, I was thinking of going the direction of sports.
Okay.
So when my sister moved me to UK, I got admission at Oxford University. But the tuition was very, very expensive. So I have communication with a couple of friends who have been in US, and I said, how does the tuition there look like? They said, well, let's see what you have over there. Let's compare.
Let's compare and then see which one will be better for
By
you.
comparing, I realized that it was much, much cheaper and easier to get some kind of financial aid. Because whether you have documents or not, there's a way that the school can help you get some financial assistance. So I maneuvered my way to
the United States of America.
That was 1987. I went to UK in 1986.
And so after a year?
After a year, I moved on to
the US. Hold on to that for a minute. While you were here in Ghana, it was obvious you were pursuing a career that you loved. Were things smooth for you? The sudden change to travel to the UK came as a result of your sister inviting you, or you just wanted to switch environments? What was the situation? Why did you decide to leave Ghana?
After West School and teaching at the Evidrasi School, I pursued at Winneba to get a degree for being a sports instructor. I did the test, everything came out that I was successful to start. And my sister said to me that, Kwame, I have an invitation for you. Do you want to come?
All right.
It's not only that, it was a promise, because my siblings, during the time of Agege, all of them went to Nigeria.
Wow.
And I left. I stayed behind. So I called my sister and my dad and sat them down and said, I'm not leaving to Agege. I'm going to stay here on condition that, sister, when your husband gets you to UK, don't forget me.
You come and take me along.
Take me along.
Okay.
And my sister fulfilled that promise.
I get it.
Her name is Charlotte Agyeman-Budu. I will never forget her.
Do you think things would have been like it is for you now if you had not taken that step?
The way my father brought us up, hardworking. I think if I would have been here, it would be not the same as I am now, but it not be
it wouldn't have been too different.
Yes.
All right. Tell me your days in America. Tell me how the days were when you decided to switch from the UK to the US. I remember your first day there. What activities were you involved? What kind of jobs did you do before you got into school?
When I got to US, I started as a security personnel, security guard.
You?
Yes. In Edison, the place that I got all my experience from as a security personnel. I was also working as a porter.
Yeah.
At a bar and a restaurant, whereby in the morning I go there,
clean and saw people out. Wow.
Yes. And then at the same time, I was also a store assistant. I did 3 jobs at a time.
Wow.
So whilst I was as a security at the Edison, one of the higher management personnel called Mr. Maguire, may he so rest in peace. He be interacting with me and said, Kwame, I can see some potentials in you. Why don't you join Edison? I said, at that time, I don't even have documents with me, any document at all. So he said, then try and get work permit. Okay. And let's see how we can help you. So I managed to get my work permit. There's a temporary resident permit. Yeah. And then one day he came to me and said, there's a job opening. We need about 5 people, but the applicants are many. Would you want to try? I said, why not? So he brought me the form at the job because I was a security at one of their plants. I filled out the form, he took it, and then the time came, and successfully, among the 5, I was the second person at Ghana High School. So he became impressive. I was even boasting. See, the guy.
That's my boy. That's the security guy.
Yes. So that's where I took my first step in the job field. Right there and then, they asked me for my documentation. Because to work there, you need some kind of documentation. I had my employment authorization, which it was okay, and later on got my permanent residence. As I was there, the same guy helped me, confronted me and said, Kwame, I think there's something in you that you can do. Why don't you start education and continue education? I said, I have my post-secondary education certificate, everything, but I don't think, I'm comfortable here. So no, I don't think that's right for you. Try and see how best, because I started as a meter reader. If you're a meter reader and you're going to stay here without any degree, you're going to stay here till Duncan don't come. So I started night school. After work, I'll go to school. And I also give thanks to Mr. Fred. Fred is a good friend of mine. My schedule for school was in the morning and some in the evening, because you cannot get it straight. You got to pick up, you can choose the courses. So I approached my boss. I said, sir, I've got admission, but the time schedule is not that favorable to my work. He said, you are here to work 8 hours. As long as you can maneuver, you can take 2 hours off in the morning and make it up.
Fix it back in the evening.
I don't have problem.
Wow.
I said, oh, thank God. So while everybody's going home, I will be doing extra hours at work
to fill in
the time lost, and it paid off. So I got my associate degree in electrical engineering technology, and I continue. And all this were paid full by the company.
So you worked for them for a while, and then they paid for your tuition after?
Tuition, yes. No, they pay you 85% when you bring in a certain grade, C or better. Okay. And when you get a certificate, they give you the 50%.
Wow.
So it makes it easier for me, because I can use the 85% to settle the bill for the school and then keep on going.
Wow. You along the line, you had the opportunity to manage high-profile projects such as the $15 million tension gateway project, GEP, at LaGuardia Airport, and the $5 million high-tension reinforcement project. How would you describe these experiences? I mean, after the what I would call the dark days, you having to maneuver your way around your work schedule, steady after you got the degree, and then you began work. How huge were these projects for you, and from where you came from, how was the impact?
I started as a meter reader. I moved on to become a customer service rep. Customer service rep is you are responsible for a district whereby you manage the affairs, how to get service to customers. From the time they request, the time you review it, make sure installation are done correctly, inspect them, pass them, then we install meters and then make sure revenue start coming into the company. So doing all that, there's a promotional test. I became a corporate customer project manager. Customer project manager, your responsibility includes managing the high customers, the high-rise buildings, hospitals, industrial areas, and all that. So I was managing Staten Island, I managed Manhattan as a whole.
That's big.
Very big. And it came to a point that all distributed generation project was under my watch. The mayor that then was Mayor Giuliani, who said that New York City by 2023 or 2020, I forgot the date, we should be energy green, whereby most of all the public schools and government institutions must have renewable energy, and I was put in charge. So I transformed all the public schools from actual grid to renewable energies. You put solar on all the roofs, and I was responsible for that. The fire service, police precinct, all the public schools and others.
Wow. And so you did all these projects. Did you face any challenge back then? Because you were, excuse my language, you were a young guy from Ghana. I mean, you didn't grow up in the US, obviously, and you had been given such a huge opportunity to deliver. Were there challenges? Did people come at you for not being from there? Did people doubt your ability to do it?
Not at all. My boss can go to sleep anytime a job is assigned to me.
Wow.
When a job is assigned to me, I'll make sure it's done thoroughly and on time. We face some challenges sometimes, because we have some time limits to every project. If you are given a project, for example, to install a solar on the roof of a school, the school will give you a time limit, and you have to make sure
you meet it.
You meet that timeline. And my confidence in my superiors was very great, because I don't play with my job. I make sure I'm consistently following up. I also make sure the follow-up, if there's any challenge, I bring it to the attention of the higher, so that right away I don't wait to the end. So going forward, if I get to this point, there's an obstacle or there's any challenge, I make it known to the authorities. If there's any help, they have to come in. They come in and we move on. So I developed some kind of security with them, whereby they trusted me. And to tell you the truth, I'm not bragging. If I go back to US today, they are willing to offer me a job.
And so why did you leave and come down to Ghana?
That's another question.
Yeah.
I came here to give back what the country had done for me. I didn't get to US on my own. I started somewhere here before I got there. And it's time that we have to give back. So when I was called upon by the government, and now the Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his government, I deem it right responsibility to come and give my best to my country and support the government also.
Great. Now, before we come back to Ghana and your experience here, of course, after you accepted to come back, what are some of the values you'd want young people listening to the show now to pick from your stay in America? Throughout the experiences you went through, the achievements you had, the jobs that you were offered, what were the things that you learned as a human being that you'd like to pass on to us?
What I want to let my young guys and girls know is that anything you want to do, have to focus. Pay attention to it. Don't let anything distract you. If you are focused and you mean what you are doing very well, definitely it will end you somewhere. Example, when I switched from arts to science, I was persuaded by a certain person. I thought I could have done it, but eventually I did it because of what? Commitment and focus. So I will inspire my youth that please, anything that you do, focus and commit yourself, and I think it will end.
It will end them well.
Yes.
Great. And so after you decided to come back to Ghana, of course, after being called on by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, how different did the working atmosphere feel to you? I mean, you had been away for a while. When you saw Mbru Kakra along the line, Mbru Kakra.
Our timing. See, when he said I should be here 9 o'clock, I was here at 8:30.
Yeah, he was here at 8:30.
Yes, I don't play with time. Because time is money. Back in the days, US, if you are given 30 minutes lunch, you're going to use the 30 minutes to go and get the food and eat and make sure you are back to your seat. Here, sometimes, we go beyond the time limit. And here, there are some challenges whereby, people don't seem to understand me and I don't seem to understand people because of their work ethics. When a job is given to me back in the US, my supervisor will not be on top of me, knowing very well that I will do the job, because if the job is not done correctly at the end, you'll be in trouble. When I was a commercial service rep back in the US, I was responsible for a district, an area, to make sure every customer gets service. Before a meter is installed, I have to sign that
every meter
that particular area that is assigned to me, that the job, the installation, everything is done to the specs of the company. Therefore, I'm appending my signature. If there's any fault 10 years along the line, I'll be responsible. So any work given to anyone, the person makes sure he does it very accurately, because at the end it took fall back on you. And here sometimes what I've realized that when a job is given to somebody and you don't follow up consistently, it falls apart. And that being my
biggest worry.
Yes, but I'm on it.
You're on it. Any
job that gives to everybody, ECG worker can testify. I have a logbook that I gave this job to this guy, this date. So consistently, I will call you. If you don't call me, I will call you to give me an update, which gives us breathing space to work.
I wish I could get some of your workers to talk to, but I will just shift that for another time. ECG is responsible for distributing electricity in the southern part of Ghana. This includes the Ashanti region, the central region, eastern, greater Accra, Volta, and the western regions. Within those regions, ECG distributes 90% of all electricity sold in Ghana. What does your customer base consist of?
Customer base consists of residential citizens of Ghana, commercial and industrial businesses. We are responsible for the southern zone of Ghana. As you mentioned, people rightfully think that ECG is all over Ghana. No. You mentioned it. So from Sunyani, Bonhafo,
down south
to Upper West, Savannah, Upper East, Northern region are controlled by NETCO.
Okay, it's not part of your jurisdiction.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have the southern part, and it involves, we have residential customers, special low tariff customers, and then the mines and all that. They are the base customers.
They are your base customers. All right. Now, most often when lights are out, popularly called doomsaw, social media trends with threats and criticism to ECG, but the challenges may not necessarily be from ECG because you distribute what you get from the generators such as Gridco and the rest. What support does the team at ECG require from Ghanaians in executing their mandates? When lights go off, what are the required things we're supposed to do? Aside, coming at you guys, shouting at you, you said people call you at 1 a.m. and the likes. What kind of support does ECG require from Ghanaians, in rendering their mandates?
I want Ghanaians to understand the chain, the distribution chain, the power chain. We have the generators that are the VRA and then the independent power producers. We have the transmission company, that's the Gridco. And we the distribution side. The generators generate the power.
Okay.
And then goes through the Gridco lines, the transmission lines at the high voltage, and then it steps down to our substations for us to serve our customers. So we are at the tail end, we distribute. Anytime there's power outage, it might be two things. Like we said, we get whatever we get from Gridco and give it to the consumers. If you don't get from them, you can't. There's no way we can't do anything about it. But there are times that a vehicle will call for low shedding because there's a system challenges. That means, and we have something called AFLS. If you there's a frequency on our electrical system whereby if it falls below that frequency and we don't deload our substations, the whole country will collapse.
As in, power will go off.
The power will go off. Because it's like a threshold. If you fall below the threshold or go above the threshold and we don't make
certain changes,
adjustment. So that's how sometimes Greco takes it off without knowledge, and then power will go off without we knowing. But there are times that are local fault whereby a fuse will blow. Obstacle will fall on the lines, and when power line, something bridge on it, definitely it will short and it will go to ground, and then we have outage. So, and we have so many areas whereby when there's outage, we can see at our control rooms. Some of the substations are linked to our SCADA system. It's an electronic device whereby when there's an outage, our personnel at the control room can see that this feeder is off.
Went off.
But not all our substations are connected to that. That's why sometimes when the light goes off, I'm pleading with the public, please call us so that we may come to your aid as soon as possible. Many times a call will come, meanwhile the customer has stayed there for over an hour without us knowing. At that point, we will send our guys there quickly to restore the service or to amend the fault. So we always do our best. When there's a fault, there's no way ECG staff will intentionally disconnect.
So you don't just turn the lights off because somebody's angry or whatsoever.
No. We don't allow that. We have some policies. Nobody can take that policy for granted. No.
That's what people believe in. I won't even lie.
Yes.
Sometimes the lights goes off and then we are wondering, could you be born with ECG? Because that's a hassle idea. And I mean, I have to commend you and attest to what you just mentioned. If there's a fault in your area, guys, just place a call. One time I had to try it, and I stayed in it for about 3 days not knowing what to do. My power just went down. It was low on current. I couldn't power my iron, air conditioning. Nothing could go on. It was just the lights that were on. And so I called a few times, and then one of the attendants actually asked me to walk out of my house, check one of the pools, see the number on the pool, and then report back to him. So I actually took the number of the pool, sent it back to him, and in less than 45 minutes, the issue was restored. And so, guys, let's just do well to, talk to the right people when, it happens, so you can get things done. Moving on, what would you describe as your biggest achievement since you've been with ECG?
Number one, we will do our best.
Okay.
We all know that the ECG was on its own until PDS came, and then the contract was cancelled or terminated, and then we have to come back. One of the biggest achievements, I would say, together with my former boss, Engineer Samuel Bochapia. At that time, I was a deputy managing director.
Okay.
We joined together with our management team to bring the two workforces together, because it wasn't easy for somebody who was ECG moved to PDS and had to come back. But thanks God that we all did this in collaboration with each other, and then everything worked smoothly. And the union, we worked with the union, and we all came together and we were working fine. That would be my biggest achievement. And there are a few to add on. If you right now, I don't know if you have a smart meter. ECG, we have 3 types of meters.
Yes.
The credit meters, which we call postpaid, whereby your consumption is measured at the end of the month. And we have prepaid meters. Prepaid meters, we have 2 types. The smart and the non-smart. The smart ones are those when you purchase automatically it transfers.
It transfers, yes.
To
I think
your
that's the same
meter.
thing I'm using.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the non-smart is whereby you have to show your car. You have to go to the vending station, show your car to the meter before you come.
And there's even an app to it, I think. Yeah. So I just sit home. As soon as the light goes off, tap, click, and then it comes back.
That's what I'm going to tell you. Yes. The ECG power.
Yeah, you did that. Wow.
Now you can, in the comfort of your home or at your office, you can just press a button and then you get the lights on. Even at the midnight, when there's no vendors, whatever, you can still do it and you get your lights on. Than those days whereby you have to wait the next morning. So this is one other investment that we did. There's another web portal whereby a customer, at the comfort of your own time, go online, check your balance. If you have any issue, you don't have to pick up a phone, and you get service as soon as possible.
Wow.
These are all some of the benefits that we giving to our customers. And I've also introduced drones.
Drone systems.
Drone system. We have work done by contractors, whereby contractors have to clear bushes under our lines, sagging lines. We have to send people out there, to look. But now, with the technology involvement, we'll be able to acquire some drones, whereby the drone will patrol the lines. It will patrol the lines, make sure if there's a sagging line, you come and send
back and report.
And then you send people out there. You don't wait. That's why we have consistent power supply these days. We are proactively working ahead. And for example, my contractors don't get mad at me. Sometimes, sometimes we ask somebody to do a job for you, and then the job will be done, but not to the standard that we want. But with the help of the drone, the drone can go and take some pictures and show it to us that this job was done, but it wasn't to the level that we want. So it monitors our network, which is a good thing, and I think it's working fine for us. And I'm talking about our call center. Now we change it to call contact center. We have web, WhatsApp, we have Instagram, everything. That if you complain,
you just respond.
Yes, it's a friendly atmosphere. We have different aspects of our system whereby even now we have different languages. That if you call, if you don't speak English, we can connect you to a Twi-speaking person, Fanti, and other languages. So we have transformed the call center to a contact center, which makes it very user-friendly, and the customers have to appreciate and attest to that too.
Wow. Yeah. One thing I want to find out from you, though. I mean, you worked years in America. What I know is before power goes off, whether it's planned or it's spontaneous, I mean, a system of warning is set out. At least people know that this is going to happen. I've seen a few platforms, talk about power outage when it's about to happen here in Ghana. How intensive is this system for you guys moving on? I mean, do you have plans of expanding it? Because I feel info goes out. Can we have a system where maybe before power goes off, we will get a message on the app to say, oh, this is going to happen? Do we have plans of anything like that coming up?
We've already started that. That's a box SMS broadcast.
Okay.
Whereby a local area, when there's going to be a planned outage. And before I come to the SMS test, we have planned outages every year. There's a plan that this area, we're going to disconnect you from 8 a.m. to, let's say, 4 a.m. That you have to service the network over there. We notify our customers through the newspapers and also through local radios, and we also do local the PA system. The car will be going around to tell the customer. We've also added the bulk SMS broadcast, whereby we inform the customer through their phones. Text message we send to the customer that from this time to this time, the service will go off for us to maintain the lines. The only thing that I'm pleading to the customers, most of the numbers are not correct.
Okay.
We've asked our customers to update their numbers anytime they visit our offices or can call our office and update their telephone numbers. Most of the numbers were Guru boys who, did the process for them. So they put their number there. So we ask customers, please, moving forward,
you should go on the web portal and then update that.
Update that. That will be helpful so that any information can get to you at the right time. Yes.
How are we dealing with illegal connections and the rest as well? I mean, are people still on it? What are some of the measures, you know?
It's rather unfortunate that the COVID came in. We have a vigorous strategy and plan to tackle this canker, which is draining our pockets. If you look at our commercial losses, a lot, it's about 13%, which we are trying to reduce it. The only way we can reduce is try to bring all these illegal activities down. And we have a plan in place like security or civilian and security combined, a team who will be going around to prospect areas that we or suspected areas that we think illegal might be going on, so that you can bring them to books. We also engage Energy Commission to strengthen the LI 1816. The LI 1816, is the work document that help us to work around our system and network. We want them to increase it or make it stringent that anyone caught stealing will be punished severely. If you go to Ivory Coast, for example, I keep saying this: if you are caught stealing, even as a CFA, one CFA, you go to jail a minimum of 5 years. That alone has scared people to steal. But here, if you are caught stealing, they will charge you a penalty unit of maybe 5,000 or 12,000, something like that. I mean, that is not punitive enough. If you have a stringent measure laws, so that people will know that, hey, no, I'm not going to do that.
Basically, I think the laws are to scare people from doing it. It's not to really punish them.
Punish them, yes.
But out here, I think we're losing things up so much that somebody will say, okay, that's what we far a home for Sony to say into May. Then I'll just go and do it. Anyways, one request, by the way, if you're putting info out, ECG is putting info out on the planned power outages, and I think you should come to YFM as well. We have the numbers. When it comes to the youth as us, we don't see that on here. So I think maybe a plea, add YFM to your list, and then when you want to put info out, you come to us. We are always ready, to work.
No problem.
Mr. Kwame-Budu, tell us your regular day. What time do you wake up? What are the activities you go through as an MD? Just take us through that briefly.
I wake up every morning, 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Set foot to the office by 7:30, 8 o'clock. I should be in the office every day. And when I get to the office, my first thing is to light up my computer. Then I'll check all my large customers to make sure their bills are intact. If you look at the ECG system, we depend much on our large customers, SLT customers, and their failure to pay costs us a lot. So I'll make sure their payments are on time. And if they are not on time, those responsible are reminded to go ahead and just...
Those in your logbook?
Yes. And after that, every Mondays in the morning, I have executive management team. I have 3 deputies under me. And the legal team have a committee with them. We meet to strategize what we need to do for the week on Mondays. So the 3 of them, myself and the legal director, will sit down, plan, and see our way forward. What we did last week that didn't go well.
How do we better on it?
Then Tuesdays, we have management meetings whereby every directorate reports on its directorate to tell us what needs to be done, what needs to change, whatever. Then every director will be responsible for his directorate. Then as a managing director, my job is to sit back and make sure all these rules are enforced. And there's anything that's not going right, then I will interact with the person and then we sort it out.
What do you do for fun? If you want to cool off, if you're busy at work and Mr. Kwame wants to cool off, what does he do? Music, movies, reading?
I love computers.
Okay.
And now, about a few months, I tried to get into playing golf.
Okay.
Because, the stretch was a very good exercise.
It's good for the back, right?
And yes, I went twice and
you couldn't keep up.
Yeah, the time. Because sometimes I left the office like 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock sometimes. So it's very difficult, and I can't wake up in the morning and go and come. So I'm trying, and the nature of my work is like 24/7, 7 days, 24 hours. It's not like Sundays off for you. No, I can be called. As I'm sitting here, I can be called by the president or my minister. No, so. It's very tough, but
it's very, very tough.
We are managing.
Just find a way around it.
I have a treadmill in front of my bedroom.
Wow.
I can't even get it.
Since you love computers, I mean, it sounds as if you almost spend the entire day behind your computer. Do you think the youth of nowadays are taking full advantage of computers? Are we doing much with computers?
If they are not doing much, I will inspire them to do much. See, as we speak right now, ECG, all documents come to me. I have to sign it. The document will push to the next person. We are trying to do something called smart workplace. You don't have to. The computer is there. There are a lot of features in it that you can utilize. We are trying to have a way that we don't have to handle documents.
There are ways you can sign on the computer and all that.
Everything is there. So I will inspire my youth out there to take computer very seriously. A time will come nowadays. See, I was telling the drones.
They will do the work for us. They will do the dirty work for us.
Yeah, exactly. So please get hands-on and then make your computer, but don't do the
other one. That's just on the side. If you had to tell a story of your family, where would you begin and how much does it mean for you? I mean, the family that you have now, your kids. If you're telling a story about, let's say you're supposed to do a movie about your family now, what title are you giving it?
My family and my mother.
The family that you have made. The family that you have made.
Oh, the title?
Yes.
The Buddhist family.
Meet the Buddhist family. Anyways, so how many people are you in there? You, your wife, how many kids? I like the smile.
I have 10 kids.
Wow.
I have 10 kids, and they are lovely. I was speaking to one yesterday. He said, "Daddy, I want to do some stocks. So send me some money to do some stocks."
No. Stock exchange?
Stock exchange.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It's very fun. One thing my dad taught me is that you have to be a hard-working person. So when my son called me yesterday, I was like, wow, this guy is trying to imitate me. I have a strong and disciplined family, whereby, work ethics is always at the high side. We make sure that we discuss things together. I was in Brooklyn for a year before I moved to Staten Island, for example. I could have got up and said, come on, guys, we are moving to Staten Island. I'm the breadwinner, I'm paying everything. But I sat them down, think through what needs to be done over there. Oh, Daddy, we are leaving our friends here, we've been staying here all day, why can't we stay here? I said, no, I know we've been staying here for a long time, but it's going to be beneficial. The environment is conducive, you have good schools, we establish new friends. So I have a family that we talk to each other, always. Communication is my key, that anytime you have communication skills or the two-way path is utilized very well, you get something better out of it. And my family is such that we understand each other in time of need, and if there's a time to support each other, we do. If the money or the funds are not there at the right time, they understand. I've trained my kids to be well understood that I cannot take my son to the store and tell him that buy me this. He or she knows that if I have it, I will buy before he asks me. There are some kids that when they are in the store that they want it, maybe they don't know what's in your pocket, but my kids are trained such a way that we understand each other.
They understand your language and you understand them as well.
Exactly. And thank God,
you got them.
I got them.
I like that. But do they know you're a star in Ghana though?
Yes, they said, Daddy, they wanted to come, but because of the COVID, that's why
they couldn't come.
Yeah, I don't want them to come, and then all this contraction and all that. Daddy, how are you doing? So one time they asked me to video where I live. And the car I use, even though I have a house in the US and all that.
They wanted to see the life you're living here.
Yes. So, are you comfortable? I said, yes.
They thought it was a big task for you. They should come and see. Wow. That's very nice, man. It must be nice being a part of your family, by the way. Your experience spans across distributed generation, solar, advanced battery, windmill, alternative energy, just to name a few. In your professional experience and by your professional opinion, what initiatives must be in place to improve Ghana's energy mix? What do you think should be done?
What we have now, as you all know, we have a lot of PPAs in place. Other than that, I would say renewable energy. Renewable energy is the best way to go, whereby we can have more solar, windmill, and the fuels, as we said. But as we speak right now, we have excess capacity that we are paying for.
Yeah.
If I say excess capacity, I mean power that is available, but we are not using it. And we pay the contract, the PPA, is take or pay. So whether we need it or not need it, we have to pay for it.
We have to pay for it.
That is, otherwise, I would say we should go renewable.
We should go renewable.
Because we have plenty of sun, 24 hours. Even in the US, where the sun is not that great there, they do solar. As I said, I did all the solar on all the New York City public schools and the police precinct and all that. Yes.
Great. What would you like to be remembered for? Amongst your workers, people that you've come across, if we're to mention Mr. Agyeman-Budu in the next 10 years, what would you want to be remembered for?
I want to change ECG to a profit-making company. That's I want everybody to remember me for. And I put a lot of initiatives in place, which I'm still adding on to make sure ECG is a place whereby when anybody takes our books, hey, ECG, this time they've made profit.
I like that. I've been told you're one of the highly celebrated members of the Catholic faith here in Ghana and beyond. Where do you posit your faith in the overall scheme of your life? What role does your faith in the Catholic, sect play in your life? Do you apply it everywhere?
Yes, let me give you a little background. I was a church president, the Catholic church president in Brooklyn for 5 years. And I forced myself to give up the position. It was a 2-year term. I went 2 terms, and they wanted me to stay on. I'm a person with the knowledge of loving people. When I first took over as the president of the Catholic Church, St. Catherine of General Catholic Church in Brooklyn, the number was not that good. People were not coming to church. I was the first person in Brooklyn to set up WhatsApp. No, not WhatsApp, even text message. I did a broadcast whereby I called everybody Sunday afternoon. We start church at 5 o'clock because it's the English people start this and they start the hours in the evening. I call everybody, make sure everybody's doing fine. If nobody, a person does not attend church,
you reach out to them.
I will call the person the next day to find out. So it became a routine whereby we love each other, and I set up individual committees. The Sundays, born, the Monday, whatever, we meet, and I'll make sure I'm always present with any of the meetings and make myself available. If you go to Brooklyn and you ask for Kwame Agyeman-Budu,
that's you.
The person that will not know me might be a new person. And my faith is that if you're going to worship God, you have to give the whole of your heart. The God doesn't like 50-50. If you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out. So I will say that my faith is to follow the footsteps of Christ and make sure we always do the right thing at the same time.
That's very insightful. Thank you so much for that. What is next for you after ECG? When you're done with your duties, what would you want to get into? Do you have plans for anything else?
I do.
Do you want to let us know?
Yes.
Talk to us.
All right. when after ECG, I want to be with my family, especially my grandchildren, and make sure I have a family life.
That's a good retirement plan.
Yes. In my life, I've been working throughout my life.
So you're going to spend time with your family after ECG.
Yes.
That's smart. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. I mean, because of time constraints, we might have to let you go. But final thing I want to find out from you, any final words to motivate and inspire young people to achieve their goals? People who are listening now, people who just tuned in, what should they look out for in the quest of achieving their goals in life?
Like I said before, you have to commit to whatever you plan to do, and then you have to focus. Two things: commit and focus. That's the key. Whatever I do, I make sure I commit myself. And if I commit myself, I give my 110% attention, and then I always focus. Don't let anything distract you. You might have some resistance and here and there, but focus.
Focus on that.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for spending time with us this morning. It's been a pleasure. It was very brief, but very, very in-depth as well. Managing Director of ECG, Mr. Kwame Agyeman-Budu, is my guest on Wiley the Board Series today. I mean, we just wrapped up, so was my guest on the show today. Thank you so much for staying with us. The hashtag is still Wiley the Board Series. The conversation continues on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget, it's Y 107.9 FM.
This is YFM.